I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? I am having such a wonderful time today. I have a historian on, someone who's going to make me smarter. I need it. I need it. And I'm telling you what, you guys are just in for a treat. So today I have a historian in, but she's not just any historian. She's got the truth behind everything that she says. I am so excited to have her. I want to welcome her to the show. Man, I'm telling you, Miss Michelle Gibson, what's up, girlfriend? How you doing?
Hi, Yaya, and it's really great to be here with you today. I'm really excited too. Thank you. And I'm honored to be called a historian.
Yes, you are.
I've been using the word historical detective because the history that I have to share with everybody isn't what you learn in school.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had an inquiring mind. And I think I broke free of whatever programming I received growing up from the Matrix many years ago. So I was open to receive new information. And when I did, it just came pouring in. I'm not trained as a historian. And I tell people that I'm glad that I'm not, because I probably would not have received the information that I did.
Right.
In the way that and understand it the way that I did. And as soon as I got the information and understood what I had received, I realized I needed to get it back out in whatever way that I could. So I've actually I made my first video 3 years ago in June of 2018 and put it on YouTube, started my blog. And originally I was just going to blog, and I got a subscriber and I thought, well, geez, I'm going to have to make videos now. And I realized how easy it was to turn my blog post into videos. And so everything that I have in video form is also in written form on my blog. And then since all of this has just kind of taken off, I've got a number of interviews and other things that I've done with other people and that people have done with me. And so I have other work as well in that form. But it was super clear to me that I needed to do this because I may not be the only one that got the memo, but the information is super significant. And I feel like I got pieces to the puzzle, the piece of the puzzle that put it together. And there's a lot of really good researchers out there kind of doing their thing and bringing in their stream of information. And the piece of the puzzle that I got ties it all together. And my piece opens up everybody else's piece. And once you understand what's been hidden from us and what's taken place here, and start looking with your own eyes in your own neighborhood, you just have to go outside your front door. And there's this ancient civilization that we're living on top of that hasn't been completely destroyed, but a lot of it has been. A lot of it's still intact. Buildings that we use every day, libraries, government buildings, courthouses, theaters, museums, they're all part of this old world architecture and civilization that's been removed from our collective memory. And that civilization is Moorish. And when I say Moorish, the Moors trace back to Mu, ancient Lemuria. And everything that I'm seeing is telling me that there was a continuous civilization of advanced humans that were aligning everything perfectly between heaven and earth from ancient times on up until relatively recently. And so that includes Lemuria, that includes Atlantis, and then my research can bring that on up to relatively recently, and then something happened. And that whatever that was, and I've got some ideas about what has taken place. A lot of people on YouTube are doing mud flood research. I think it has to do with a deliberately caused cataclysm that wiped this original civilization off the face of the earth, literally and figuratively. And that what we call controllers or cabal or deep state or secret government, the elite, came in, they dug out infrastructure, and then they rebuilt civilization. And they dug out enough infrastructure to get it restarted. And that everything we know, everything we've been taught is their history. They've been telling us what they did. And then the Moors, who were highly advanced, everything was just turned upside down. We got the whole narrative that we're taught about slavery and everything else. But the bigger issue is that the controllers knew the higher consciousness of the Moors. They had to get that out of the way in order to bring us to the world we live in today, this messy place we're in. And they're afraid of the Moors. They've done everything they can to oppress Moors. Moors don't know their heritage. And they've stolen it in the sense of Freemasonry, and Shriners are 32nd and 33rd degree Freemasons. But the original Masons were Moorish Masons. And they have 360 degrees, not 33. And that whatever evil came in to this plane or planet, and that's a whole nother topic, and it's not what drives my work. But wherever we live, whatever realm this is, they came in and they infiltrated Masonry, and they took that over. And then all these other secret societies and that are involved with it, Oddfellows, Skull and Bones, Jesuits is another one. There's another secret society. Knights of Pythias. I think there were some other knights. That Knights of the Golden Dawn might have been one. Something. Anyway, they were all involved in this cover up of this civilization. And I have to blog and I have to video, because if I'm just going to tell you this, it doesn't have the same impact as if I show you. And my blogs and the videos that are made from them show you how I came to these conclusions. And it wasn't overnight. I didn't start here. I let the planetary alignments that I found intuitively guide my research. I didn't know what to expect when I first started. I will say that something that helped in my journey of putting it together was a Moorish American friend that I met in Oklahoma City, who became my friend and showed me who the Moors are and brought the piece about the Moors into my life, because I didn't know prior to that.
I do have one question. Who are the Moors today? I mean, we're talking about a history of a people that don't know the history of their people.
Exactly.
Who are they?
So melanated people are Moors, but the Moors were worldwide. There were also, I believe they were the 12 tribes of Israel, and that this original civilization was based on sacred geometry. So the civilization was laid out, all of the infrastructure was in harmony with the heavens and the earth energies and all of that. But the civilization was laid out in the same way, and that's what the 12 tribes are. I mean, you can find people that identify as 12 tribes of Israel all over the earth. And so there are Moors that know that they are Moors. Percentage-wise, it's a small percentage compared to the population that we would call Black or African American or whatever. Those are misnomers, and that was all done deliberately to disenfranchise the Moors and remove their nationality and their identification with the land. And we were put under admiralty law or law of the sea. You know, this is everybody. The Moors probably know more than anybody about their sovereignty and how to work around the system. They've been doing it for years. But the controllers know who the Moors are. I'm not saying all of them do, but there's a certain number of people that are in the know because this information has been so hidden.
Wow.
Because the implications are tremendous.
Well, yeah.
This information has been so hidden that the Moors that are educated about it, Moorish elders and Moorish teachers, can tell you how to reclaim your sovereignty and everything you need to do, and the controllers can't do a dang thing about it
Wow.
because they know
Mm-hmm.
the truth, but they have to trick everybody. I mean, everybody into thinking they actually have control. And they've done that by our birth certificates. They've done that by our names in caps. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Our name in capital letters on our legal documents, like our last name. That's one of their tricks. I'll have to send you some information about that because off the top of my head, I can't explain it very well, but that's part of how they create a fiction because they can't control humanity. And this has to do with all of humanity. That is why this is one of the very many reasons this is so important for me to get this out, to say, hey, we've all been lied to.
Yeah.
And we need to get together because they can't touch us. And we're actually all the same. We're, the same being.
Yeah, we are.
True humans are the same being. I don't know about
Yeah.
the humans that have some kind of entity in them, but true humans
Yes,
are
we're
all the same.
Yes, we are.
And so it's something that we need to stop distrusting and fighting each other and thinking, it's the white person or the black person.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right.
It's the controllers that are manipulating us to fight each other because they can't touch us.
There you go.
They literally can't touch us. And that's why they've gone through all this trouble to create a new history and, tell us every building has a story. Every bridge has a story. It has a plaque or a date or cornerstone and say, we built this. No, that's all they're doing. They don't have the capability of building anything like that. What they do have the ability to do is manipulate and twist and suppress and ritualize and use all of this advanced knowledge to try to keep humanity bound,
right,
and suppressed. That's what they can do, but they can't do it when people wake up, know what the heck's going on, know they don't have any real power. And again, that's why they throw everything at us, the kitchen sink, you name it. They've got control of the media. There's corruption throughout every level of everything. But we're living in a time where we're all waking up. Not everybody, but enough need to wake up. And I think we've got enough, for people to keep waking up. Some have drank the Kool-Aid or, under the spell that's been cast. The red pill, the blue pill. I'm going to take the red pill. You wake up, blue pill. You just stay asleep, and realize that this is our fate. Our fate rests in us being able to wake up and cast off these oppressors, because they really don't have the authority. They're really not all powerful. They're like the wizard in the Wizard of Oz. At the very end, and you get to the very end and you see this little guy behind this big, imposing presence. No. And the emperor has no clothes.
Okay. Gotcha.
So all they can do is convince us that they have power, and that's how they've been getting away with it. That, and I would say up until the last 10 years or so, people didn't really start waking up, I think, until the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
There were the ones that were born awake, or have been waking up for a period of time. And then there's just a lot of people that have just woken up in the last couple of years and say, hey, wait a minute, what about this?
Yeah. So, I mean, how can we at least begin to heal the wounds between, we're all the same. We came from the same people. There was two people. We came from those two people, and the variations of different human people on the earth is amazing. And from these melanated people, we became people, uh, lighter, darker, different color eyes, hair texture, whatever. That's been proven. It's been proven time and time again. But people will be people. How can we heal these wounds? How can we begin to heal?
It really starts here. And our real brain is our heart. Our heart was always meant to be our guide. The brain is more like an office assistant and a GPS. Our brain is not where we function at our highest level of consciousness, and it's divided by its very nature, right? We have the left side that's more analytical. We have the right side that's more intuitive and creative. Now, ideally, they're both working together, but the true power is in our heart. And if you look at David Hawkins and Power versus Force, and he's got a ranking, and the lowest vibrations are fear, doubt, and you move up, you get to the highest vibrations, and it's joy and it's peace. And the people that can function at a love, joy, and peace level, and it's hard to do. I've known this for a long time, and I can be there until something happens. But moving into higher consciousness is actually moving into the heart and looking at others with love and kindness and respect and compassion. And part of our challenge is with the evils that have been committed, it's really hard to get out of a judging mind and or hurt mode or whatever to forgive. And I don't think I can forgive. It's hard for me to say, I'm going to forgive the people, these beings, for what they've done. I don't think I can do that. But what I can do is say, okay, this is the situation. We have to deal with it. We can't change it. We have to transform it.
Right.
And we have to transform it by non-attachment, which is letting go. And again, start the process of this. To me, the whole process of healing is, instead of jumping into a judgmental or a divisive or fear about our brothers and sisters of any race, instead of jumping into that and moving into a space of, okay, let's get together, let's drop this. And again, I'm not saying this is like a tomorrow thing.
Right. I gotcha.
But I am saying that for white or black or red or yellow to say, this is too hard, we can never heal from this.
Right.
I'm saying, no, we have to move out of our comfort zone and go into that space, because that's where our hope and our future lies.
Definitely.
It's
totally
not
agree.
in perpetuating the, oh my gosh, we've been so hurt. And I understand the hurt. I totally understand that. Where I'm coming from is every person on the earth that's not one of them, and even within their own families, they're not very nice.
Right.
The elite, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, has been lied to and manipulated. And our history has been completely fabricated, or I say completely fabricated. What we're taught is based on a false construct. What I think they did was, when they rewrote history, they based it on things that happened before. Right. But they gave us a new construct, and we haven't been at all of this suffering and misery and pain for our whole existence. And that's why, anybody that tries to tell me that there was war and all this other stuff going on, I'm like, that's not what I'm seeing. Right. I'm seeing a completely integrated civilization, empires within empire, all over the earth, that were learning how to connect with their higher selves and their divine self. They were raising their kundalini. They were you know, to me, this is the epitome of what we're talking about. A little Buddha, a little black Buddha.
I got you.
You know, that every child, every human, I'm sorry, guys, every child was born into this understanding of who they are as the creator, and taught how to reconnect in this peaceful place of stillness. And then the beings, these negative beings that are these controllers, figured out a way to disrupt everything, come into this plane, and start to incarnate in human form. And I think these are the families that we're talking about, the Illuminati families, the bloodline families, the 13 bloodlines. So they could set up their own thing, because it is so easy when we're in physical form to disconnect us from source and each other. So all they had to do was remove that information and put God outside of us, and have an intermediary, whether a minister or a rabbi or an imam, somebody to explain to us our relationship with our creator, instead of going inside of ourselves and establishing our own personal relationship with our higher selves. And so they removed that awareness, they removed, our connectedness, and then they physically divided countries. They created wars between the same peoples. And this took place. This is part of their modus operandi all over the earth when they were taking control of everything. They would draw a line, like through Afghanistan, Pakistan, is an area called Pashtunistan. And the Afghans and Pakistanis from this area are one of the lost tribes of Israel. And I want to say it was either in the late 19th century, early 20th century, they drew a line, and they called it the Duran line. So you had it split in half, and then some end up in Afghanistan, some end up in Pakistan. Same people, different countries. And then you get into the whole division by religion, and you've got, you've got Muslims, which are, it's all a corruption of what was originally Moorish. And originally, Islam, this is about the inner aspect. Sufi Islam is pretty much what it was about, where I self-law am master. So that's, doing the same thing we learn that the Buddhists are doing, that the Hindus are doing. If you have heard of Sufi dancing, like whirling dervishes in Turkey, they're dancers, they're like typically men, and they wear these big flowing skirts, and they come in, and then when the bell sounds, they just start whirling. That's a spiritual practice. And what they're doing is they're in a state of rapture and bliss, and they're connecting with the divine. There's just been so many ways that the original Moorish legacy has just been split and fragmented, and then turned into organized religions and things like that. And that's furthered the agenda. I think the Freemasons were the primary ones to carry it out, but it wasn't just the Freemasons. I mean, there's, and when I say that, it was the upper levels. Mormonism, I think Mormonism was controlled opposition. You have the Catholic missionaries coming in, and the Jesuits, and they're doing the same thing. They're instilling this new system, but it's not for humanity's benefit whatsoever.
So you have teamed up with Unguru. Why
Yes.
Unguru? Why Unguru?
Well, besides being connected or contacted by Melanie last year, she wanted me to be the historian on Unguru. She'd been following my work for a while and kind of checking things out, and asked me if I would be interested. And I thought about it, and I thought, that sounds like it aligns with my beliefs. Unguru, become your own teacher. Don't Don't
Yeah.
rely on others. It's always good to get information and then make your own decision. But it's a private membership association. It's a one-stop shop for all the information you need to take your power back and understand your world. And it's really important for people to have a place to go with the tools that they need to successfully navigate the really crazy world we live in today, and to free themselves from the rigged systems that seek to deceive, like I've been talking about, and enslave us. And that we have access to this critical information about things like detoxifying, biohazards, financial information, credit repair, homeschooling, the whole 9 yards. It's really a tool for people to take back their lives.
Right. Right. I like the concept of the whole thing of being able to take back your life. I'm one to do that. Okay. Because I've taken back my own little area too. And I feel a lot more informed by doing that. So let's go back to something. I wanted to talk about the media. You said something about the media earlier about how they have been corrupted. Um, Tell me a little bit more about that.
It's actually something that people that are interested in finding out more about this is not hard information to find. It's harder to find some of the things that I'm talking about. But basically 6 companies own all of the media, and they're all in bed together. This is mainstream media. And they all get the same information to put out there. And so, basically withhold information that we need, control the flow of information. And it just seems like more and more people are looking for other sources of information. People want the information, they want to know what's going on, and they expect it to be true. And I know so many people in my own family, especially in the older generation, they've been reading the paper for ages. They watch 60 Minutes. They watch all of these programs expecting that the information, the nightly news broadcast is good information. But when it's not, when the information that's coming out is designed to keep us in fear, it's a huge issue. And to keep us from know what's really going on, big issue. Like I said, whole generations have been taught to trust the mainstream media. So that's an issue. And then with social media, there's been a lot of censorship and deplatforming going on. This is very real. The controllers don't want people to know what's really going on. They just want you to know the preferred narrative. And, at this point, it's upside down from anything we've ever known to be true. I mean, what we're living in right now, tell me I'm wrong, is completely
it's crazy. It's crazy. I know. It's crazy.
So I think I'm grateful. I just turned 58 and I graduated from high school in 1981. I don't know exactly what normal is.
Yeah, right.
But it just seems like I grew up and went to school in a time that it was still fairly normal.
It was cool. It was cool.
Whatever.
Yeah, I graduated in 90 and it was still cool. It was still cool in 90. It was still cool. It was, the 80s and 90s. It was still cool. Then the 2000s came along and people lost their minds with Y2K. I think it did really set the whole thing up ablaze after that.
Yeah. So it's, and I think something we'll get into more, but it's the whole idea of getting our side out on the airwaves. The kinds of stuff people want to hear, want to know about, want to watch, and not have our brain or heads unscrewed and grits poured into our skull.
Definitely.
And make it mushy. It's like people want real information, and I think we're just at a place where it's becoming, for the people that are aware, and haven't drank the Kool-Aid. For the people that are aware, they know something is really wrong.
Yeah.
And that is where Unguru comes in.
Awesome. I like unguruyourlife.com. You know, I was talking about this on my Instagram and on my YouTube. I was like, okay, so we got Delta, Delta Plus, Delta Lambda, Disease X, and all this stuff. I said, what about the murder hornets? Can I just have the? Can we just go back to the murder hornets? Just go back to
you have to wear 2, 3, or 4 masks.
I know. And you got these people with these like breathing machines, you know, and then you have like these rebreathers, you know. Oh my gosh. Just give me the murder hornets. I can live with those.
So, you know, let's take our world back. Let's create what we want and not what we don't want. And you know, that's kind of where I come in with the hidden history. And you know, I just invite people. You've got my website up there, piercingtheveilofillusion.com. If you go to my YouTube channel, you just type in Michelle Gibson Moors, it comes up. On Unguru, I have a page, and I'll have a social media group and courses, fireside chats that will be interactive with members, totally accessible. And you know, for me, a lot of this is helping you to see for yourself, not just see what I have to say. Just look in your own neighborhoods, in your own communities. It's there. I mean, you don't have to travel to Egypt to see Egypt.
Right.
And I mean that.
Yeah.
There is it's really fascinating. There was a total solar eclipse in 2017 across the United States, and there's going to be another one in 2024 going in the opposite direction. They both cross at Carbondale, Illinois. And there are some interesting synchronicities with Carbondale. But just south is a place called Giant City State Park.
Okay.
In Maconda. Sounds like Wakanda, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
In Maconda.
Okay.
And Maconda was called the Star of Egypt. This place in Illinois, in southern Illinois, which is also called Little Egypt. If you look at pictures, I invite you to look it up online right now. If you look at pictures of Giant City State Park, southern Illinois, in Maconda, Illinois, Giant City State Park, Maconda, Illinois.
All right, give me 1 second. We're going to go ahead and get that up. Okay. And we're going to share this screen here so people can actually see it. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Giant City State Parks. Okay. So here we go. Giant City State Parks.
Okay. So go back to the first one there. Do you see walls there?
I do. Oh my God.
The whole park is like that. And not only there in Illinois, it's all over. It's literally all over the place. But they're called bluffs. They're called canyons. They're not called masonry. You're not going to ever see pyramids and masonry. Now, if you just go up to your search and just type in Giant City State Park. The reason I ask you is if you just pull up general images, you're going to find out find more examples.
Can you see that images?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's masonry.
Oh my God. Can you see that?
And the only reason people don't see it is because it's not supposed to be there. It's been removed. It's been removed from our collective awareness. This civilization even existed, and it was in. From what I understand, what we know as Egypt was in North America before Egypt was.
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute.
Okay, am I making sense? The Washita Empire, the ancient ones. They're called the ancient ones. The Washita Moors, Moors. apostrophe URS.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just giving you, this is just one example, but to me, it's like a fantastic example. So this is the crossing point of these two eclipses that are 7 years apart.
You see that?
Which I do think is biblical. I think it does have something to do with the times that we're living in, and I see it as a sign of hope.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people that left comments when I did a video and blog post about the 7 Salem solar eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
This 2017 solar eclipse that first went through this area hit
Crazy.
7 towns named Salem. And so I went through, and several people from Oregon to South Carolina, and several
Mm-hmm.
people left me comments saying, I woke up during that eclipse. I got a lot of that. But then another lady left me a comment, and she said, the 2024 eclipse has 9 Salems. It crosses through 9 Salems. Salem means peace. Shalom in Hebrew, salam in Arabic. Salem is a word that means peace. And, again, to me, this whole civilization was about peace and love and stillness, connecting with our higher selves, connecting with each other. We knew who we were. We knew where we came from. We weren't asking all of these questions about whether the earth was a plane or a sphere, or none of that. We knew. And we knew how to work with our higher aspects and create amazing things. And I just wanted people to know that's where we came from. And where do we go from here? Well, that's up to us. We can either live in a dystopian prison planet, which is what the controllers want, or we can create a beautiful new world and have abundance and, great lives for ourselves and our kids.
Wow.
And, we're living in a very powerful time. And I really don't think the controllers have ever been this exposed to see. Even with a lot of people still not waking up yet, more and more wake up every day, I think.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, Michelle, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. And my gosh, this has been so much information. And I had no idea that park existed. That's Giant City State Park in Illinois. You guys got to go and check that out. That
just look at the
looks like
pictures.
we saw the pictures, and you can go ahead and go for yourself and go to Google and just type Giant City State Park in there, and it'll take you straight there. You literally don't even have to put Illinois, because I guess it's the only state park in the entire country that's named Giant City State Park.
And it looks like a giant city, but we've been conditioned to see all of this as natural.
That doesn't look natural. No. There's like some smooth rock there. Literally, no, that doesn't look natural. I'm just going to go there and say no. Wow.
And that's just one example.
Well, you guys can go to piercingtheveilofillusion.com for Melanie's, for Michelle's blog. And gosh, you just blew me away. I'm just like, I'm thinking about it going this is crazy.
It is crazy.
It is crazy. Wow. And unguruyourlife.com is another place that you're going to be teaching, and you are the historian. So that's amazing. Amazing. Wow. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for being on the show, girlfriend. I appreciate it. We could sit here, we could talk for a very long time about everything, because it's just like you said, it's just all been hidden. We've been lied to. We've been bamboozled. And I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it.
I don't either. I don't either.
Because it makes us one. It brings us together. It makes us more alike than different. And I've always known that we are more alike than different. And this whole crap of, I don't even like race. It's we're people. I think race was a construction also to separate us, because we're not a race. We're just different types of people. Literally, I could give birth to a child that has no color right now. Is she a Caucasian? You see him coming from, or is she a person?
And the Moorish elders will tell you that.
Right.
This race thing didn't exist
It doesn't exist.
in
I
the
hate it.
world, in the old world.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's got to be a construction to separate people, because literally we came from one people and we branched out, and here we are. What a wonderful variation of human existence we have as a display in the world, but yet we count it as a race.
Right.
I don't like it.
And like I said, I really invite people to, at the very least, look at my blog, piercingtheveilofillusion.com. Or if you prefer videos, go to my YouTube channel, Michelle Gibson, and then type in Moors and watch my videos. I don't sit here saying all of this stuff without very compelling evidence.
Right.
I would not be putting myself out there if I did not have good reason to believe what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And a very strong passion to show other people, so we can, wipe off this fog that we've been in and start to have a clearer picture of where humanity was and what humanity was capable of. And all of this fighting and murder and war and drugs, all of that's been brought in to keep us down.
I hate it. I literally hate it. So,
yeah.
Wow, Michelle. Thank you so much. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the historian for unguruyourlife.com, Michelle Gibson. And she's got a lot of stuff to teach us. We have been lied to.
I got lots of information.
So, yeah.
We could talk for hours, probably days.
Definitely days. Definitely days, because we'd have to go back and review some stuff. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michelle. I am so happy to have had you on the show, and you just piqued the interest of I know every listener and every watcher here. Thank you so much. You guys can get anytime. Guys can get her on piercingtheveilofillusion.com, piercingtheveilofillusion.com, and that will be in the description box as well as on the screen. You can just pause that and see it. If you're watching, please subscribe. Please go to the blog and subscribe to the blog. You can also get her YouTube channel, Michelle Gibson, and then just type in Moors, Michelle Gibson Moors, and you will find her. Subscribe to that YouTube channel and begin to learn the things that we were just never taught. We just never taught. That's just the way it is. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. And all of the time you put into finding the truth is just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes, definitely. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys. Bye. I dare to be different.